Hi, welcome to Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month After Party Day 20. Yes, I've been live streaming now for 20 days in a row. If you didn't know, last month was Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, which was celebrating our diversity across the spectrum and our differences within it. I can't speak today. I'm a bit emotional, as it says in the title. It's going to be quite a hard video for me to do. If you didn't know, this is a place to be for education about asexuality. I talk about asexual dating, asexual relationships, asexual friendships, and that little weird thing called sex, because it's, you know. Anyway, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below and please hit the bell icon so you get notified of every time I post a new video or go live. So this is a really difficult video for me to do. You know I'm hyper romantic, right? So I can get feelings very easily for someone or attached to someone, or, you know, I can get emotionally connected to someone quite easily sometimes. And you may have remembered that in these videos I've been talking about different things, and one thing is that I've been talking to an Indian guy who's not asexual, and as you know, I really want an asexual Indian guy for a relationship. It's been really hard today because I spoke to my mum last night on the phone, and she thinks that this Indian guy that I've been speaking to is literally just using me to come in the country. And, you know, she could be right, and that's what I initially thought myself. But then through talking to him, I thought he genuinely cared about me. But I'm thinking now, maybe I was right in the first place, that is what he's after. It's really difficult to do this video. I knew I was going to get upset. It's really hard. Hi, Michael. I'm a bit tearful at the moment. That's why I put emotional on there. So, you may remember that I said I was talking to an Indian guy. He wasn't asexual, but he seemed like a decent guy. Sorry, I'm really upset, but I'm actually going out on a self-date later on tonight to the cinema. So I kind of have to do this early because the cinema doesn't finish till 11 something. Sorry. And I'm not going to get back home till maybe after midnight. Like, I always promise you guys I'll do these videos. So I'm really upset live on camera, which I knew I would be. But hey, I'm a very honest person. And, you know, it's only happened today, this thing. So it's kind of like really hard for me. Can't believe I'm crying so much. I've just been in the shower and gave myself a talking to. It obviously didn't work very well, did it? So anyway, I was saying that I spoke to my mum last night about the Indian guy who's not asexual, and was speaking about him. And it was really difficult for me because, one, my mum didn't really understand me, and two, she probably was right. So, you know, she thinks he's just using me to get in the country. You know, but I kind of like don't 100% believe that. But I, you know, I thought that he was doing that in the first place. But I'd hoped I was wrong about him. But in any case, I don't think his words match his actions, really, to a certain extent. So basically, this guy saw on my Facebook profile that when I came back from dancing, you know, like a month ago, this was when I danced with an Indian guy, that I one day it was nice to dance with an Indian guy. Sadly, he wasn't asexual, but one day, hopefully, I'll meet my asexual soulmate. And he saw that message, and he was already on my friends list, and we hadn't really spoken. He was a business guy, so I didn't really think, I did look at his profile, actually, in all honesty, and I saw he was single, and I thought, yeah, he's probably not asexual, and two, he's in India, and that doesn't bode well. Every Indian guy I ever like cannot come over here because they're stuck in their country. And it just becomes a nightmare. So I try not to get involved with any Indian guys anymore in India, because there's no point. It just leads to heartache and heartbreak for me. So, but this guy, like, is into business. He reckons he's got his own money and stuff like that. So I thought it might be different. He's 34. It's not like he's really kid and doesn't know what he wants. So I thought it might be different with him. But, you know, he came on straight away in the message and said, oh, you know, I'm Indian. I want to be close to you. How can we make that happen? I'm Indian, I like you, I want to be close to you, how can we make that happen? Well, I suppose loads of people would just turn around at that point and tell them to take a hike. But I actually, because I saw him before in his profile, I actually did like the look of him anyway then. And, you know, I explained about asexuality, which he didn't really get in the beginning. Because he said he wanted sex and liked sex talk. And I'm like, well, you wouldn't be suitable for me then, because I'm not interested in that. I'm asexual. And I tried to explain what it was. And after a while, I thought he'd get it. But I thought he was asexual for a while, because he always liked my... He's on my Asexualise page. I don't know if it's Asexualise dating or Asexualise page. I think it's the Asexualise normal one. Oh, Asexualise Academy it might be as well. And he's on there, and he used to, and my personal obviously page, because he's friends with me, and he liked a lot of my asexual posts. So I assumed that maybe he was asexual. And then he started telling me that he subscribed to this channel, and he like said that he thought, you know, and then after a while he said that when he first saw me, he thought that he would want marriage and kids with me and like a normal life with sex. But then after a while, when he understood me, he realised that he could be without sex and that and just be with me. And he didn't need the kids, because he said I'm a good person and he really liked me. So, yeah, that was obviously difficult for me as to whether to believe him or not. And for a while, I just thought he was after a visa, because one of the first things he also said to me is, will you sponsor me? That was in like some of the first messages. I mean, you know, that's not a person who loves someone. That's a person who's after getting in this country. And I find out that he can't marry an Indian girl because he doesn't like, although he's Indian, he wants a foreign girl because he doesn't like the Indian culture and the marriage culture there. So that's why he's 34, he said, and not been married. And he hasn't had sex before. So, you know, I thought, well, I just thought, I don't know what I thought. I thought he was genuine. And, you know, as time goes on, he was like, I saw him on video, like, was it the day before yesterday through to yesterday morning? I saw, I think it was like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning or something, or it might have been the day before, because yesterday, after the video chat, he didn't message me, like, which I thought was a bit odd, for someone who, you know, this guy's been saying, I love you, I'm crazy about you, I miss you. But it's all very well saying those things, but it's a completely different thing meaning them. And I thought he meant it. I thought he was genuine when I saw him on the video camera. Having said that, you know, like, so the sponsorship thing really got to me in the beginning, because I thought, well, obviously he's just after coming over here and he saw an opportunity, because I said I like Indian guys, and he's explained to me as well that not many women are like me that like Indian guys from other countries. You know, foreign girls don't like them, like 60 or 70%. When I've asked him how he knows that, he goes and researches all over Facebook, people's profiles, he reads all their stuff. So he's obviously looking for a woman who is abroad, who likes Indian guys. That's why he spotted me. But it's kind of like, surely you should spot someone because you like them and really want to get to know them, rather than just because they like Indian guys. Do you know what I mean? I mean, sure, you should just get to know them. But obviously he trawls through Facebook. He said he spends a lot of time on Facebook, which then when he doesn't send me a message, I'm thinking, if you spend a lot of time on Facebook, you can message me just to say hi, ask me how my day's going or something. Do you know what I mean? So, and what gave away the fact that he didn't really care about me as much as he said he did was like the other day when I was on about video chatting. And he was on about, first of all, he didn't want to do it. Then he said he was shy and that was the reason. And then he said, oh, he cancelled the first time about video chatting, saying, you know, saying he was shy. And, well, no, he didn't say he was shy. He just kept saying, I can't do it. It's 10:30 at night. My parents are in bed. But he sent me a picture of this house before. It's like a mansion. It's not like there's not enough rooms for him to go out the way from his parents. It's a double-storey house. And I've seen the outside of it. It's huge. I mean, ginormous. So it's not like he couldn't go in another room. It's just excuses. I thought it's just excuses, you know. And anyway, in the end, he said he was ill, not very well, and he sent me this report from the doctor, but I didn't see the date on the report, so I don't know how long ago that actually was, because he said to me that he'd had that illness like a year before, so I don't know if it was that report was from this year or the previous year. But I assumed it was from this year, but when he started saying about it was last year, I mean, I don't know, do I? So, yeah, it was just like, you know, and then he said he was crazy about me and all the rest of it. And then when I said about video chatting, he's like, oh, I can do that in the day. I can message you in the day. I said, yeah, but in the day I'm working because of the time difference. I'm doing my own work, like my website work. I said I wouldn't even usually be on Facebook for 2 or 3 days sometimes directly on it, because I said I've got work to do. And I'm only coming on there sometimes to say hello to him, especially as he wasn't feeling well the other day, to check that he's okay, which is nice of me to do that. Do you know what I mean? But I said, I don't, you know, that's the only reason. And then I said to him about video chat, I said, I can't have, you know, I can't have someone who doesn't want to, you know, only wants to video chat with me when it's convenient to them. I said, you know, not for me. And he goes, oh, well, just video me in your holiday then. That is not someone who's crazy about me. People like tend to get holidays, 5 times a year normally when they're working for an employer. And when I'm like with me, because I'm like literally doing stuff at home at the moment, it's like, well, technically speaking, I don't actually have a holiday ever. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought and I got really upset when he said that. And then I knew then why. I thought, you can't, I know it's a bit early for love anyway, but he's the one saying that. I actually have never said I loved him back. So I've been really good this time on my hyper-romanticism. I've never actually said those words to him. It's him saying that to me. And him going, oh, I'm crazy for you and all this lot. You know, but he can't be. If he's like, you know, if it's like, oh, I'll video chat with you on your holiday. And I know I was saying, look, I can't be in a relationship with you unless you come over here of your own accord. And then, was it the week before last, he was about, oh, well, maybe April I'll come over, like, for our birthday. And it's like, do you know what I mean? For someone who's crazy about me, who can wait all the way till April, and even then he's got no plan actually to do it, you know, it's me trying to say to him, well, so what are you doing about it? I've told you, because he wants to be in a relationship with me, I've told him I can't do it, you know, because I can't do a long-distance relationship, and I need him to come over here, not me get him over here, but him come over here. And if he's got, I said, well, if you've got money, all you have to do is pay tuition fees and come and study here. So what's the problem? You know, if he's got money, it's different because he can come and study here. And he said that he'd been looking into it, and he showed me this sponsored ad off Facebook about how to come to the UK. But I'm like, so, okay, what are you doing with that then? And then he said, oh, I'm going to talk to my friend about it next month. But then I got confused because then he started saying that, oh, I've got a friend who's moved to Liverpool with his girlfriend, and he wants me to check through his papers if they're legitimate to be in the UK, but she sponsored him. I said, well, I can't sponsor you. Do you know what I mean? And the other day he implied about my parents helping, like, to get him over here. And I just think, well, that's just like, you're obviously not interested in me. You're just obviously interested in getting in this country, you know? And that really makes me sad because I thought he was a genuine guy. You know, I spoke to him, you know, it's really hard. So part of me just thinks now that, you know, it's all lies. Because someone who's crazy about you, they kind of really want to talk to you. It's like last time I video chatted, he's like, well, actually, because I got upset because he said, oh, I'll video chat when you're on holiday. I knew then that he can't really care about me that much because, you know, he's obviously not bothered. There's no, you know, I miss you crazily, I really need to speak to you. There's no urgency there, is there? That's what I'm trying to say. So if there's no urgency there, it's like, you know, like casual. That doesn't match the words of I'm crazy about you, I miss you, you know, I want to be with you type thing. It doesn't match, does it? It just doesn't, you know. And I like a guy who takes initiative and actually makes an effort. Both video chat, both messaging, and actually, you know, get himself over in the country. Not me saying that to him all the time. It's just pathetic. You know, he's 34 years old. It's not like he's a child and doesn't know what he wants, theoretically. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's older than I would usually be interested in anyway, to be honest. And he's not asexual. I mean, he reckons he can live without sex. I doubt that. I doubt that very much. But, you know, I know in his culture he has to, because he can't do that without marriage, but that's a bit different, isn't it, from when you're actually with someone in a relationship. So I just feel really upset, because it's like, well, I just feel like you just lied or didn't really tell the truth. It's like you're not that bothered about me. And I hate this when guys do this. Like, it's like I'm not that bothered about them in the beginning, and as soon as I get remotely slightly more interested, then they turn to be like this. And I think it's really difficult as an asexual person, because we do still like the kissing and the cuddling. You know, if you're romantic, I appreciate if you're aromantic. Sorry, I appreciate if you're aromantic, you probably don't miss that. But even as an aromantic, if you haven't got many friends, you probably miss the warmth of the friendship. Do you know what I mean? You miss, because I wished I had more friends in my city, to be quite honest, because nearly all my friends, they don't live in my city. I've only got one friend in my city, and she's got 4 kids, works now, and she's got an Indian boyfriend, actually. She didn't want an Indian boyfriend. She wanted all the qualities that this Indian guy's got, but not him being Indian. But lucky thing, she's got an Indian guy. So lucky for her. In the UK, that is. Not in abroad. You know, he's with her, cooking for her and stuff like that. Actually, it's a while since I caught up with her. But, you know, so that's pretty much... Oh, and I have got one asexual friend in my city. We don't see each other that much, but he's a nice guy, but we're very opposite on a lot of things. So we do hang out sometimes and meet up for a meal and drink, which is nice. But, you know, because we're very different people, it wouldn't be really appropriate for us to do that often, because, you know what I mean, we are so different people. It's nice to just do that once in a while rather than all the time, because we're very opposite on a lot of stuff, even though we get on. So, I think the closest I've come to that is joining APAM, because being the only asexual I know was lonely, but I don't care about having a friend near me. Yeah, I mean, I'm an extrovert, you see, though, because I need to get out. You know, I'm in my flat a lot. I don't have my guinea pigs here anymore. They were great company. They were over. I wouldn't say I'm lonely, but I'm missing that human connection lately. And I think, obviously, because my guinea pigs are not here anymore, I haven't got any company in the flat, and I'm an extrovert. I do like chatting to people. I do like interacting with people. I do love, you know, like, I've made some really good asexual friends, but the majority of them live all around the country. You know, this guy who lives in Hertfordshire, he's coming to my asexual meetup. Can't wait to see him. You know, my friend from Worcester, like, when I have the asexual meetup, it'll be like great. I feel on top of the world that I'm seeing my friends, and I do love my single life. I just think it's better for me to stay single, to be quite honest, because I'm happier, you know, because I know what I need and I can look after myself and make myself really happy. Whereas guys just don't seem to come up to the mark, you know, they're either lying or not that keen as they're making out, or, you know, or they don't put the effort in. There's a lot of them that just don't put the effort in, you know. I explained to him that, you know, the other day when he was on about video chat, he went from one extreme to the other. It's about saying being on holiday, and then he's like, did video chat with me, and then he said, oh, when we worked out a suitable time for us both, because I work a lot, and I said, well, I could be, you know, like, we agreed that 1 a.m. in the morning, my time, which is kind of crazy for me, but I'm usually awake at that time doing computer work, would be great, because he said I'd take a walk in the park so that I can video chat with you. And then he offered me to video chat with him every day, 7 days a week, whenever I wanted to at that time, which I didn't say, because I said to him I'd like to video chat with you 2 or 3 times a week, you know, but in between you can message me, because I needed to trust him more and get to know him more. And that's what he offered me, like, but that didn't work out, you know. It's like, you know, I didn't expect that all the time. I'd rather arrange it, you know. I'd rather say, well, today I'm going to video chat with you, which I did say about last night. Was it last night or the night before? But he was not. He got up early. He was awake earlier because he couldn't sleep. So I said, oh, we can video chat now if you want. And then he said, oh yeah, and I'm gonna chat with you later on. And then he fell asleep, which I do understand because he wasn't very well. And then he was messaging me, and it was like, oh, we must arrange another video chat. And that was it. And then I didn't hear from him for like all the rest of the day yesterday. And like, and then today it's like, hi, no, I sent him a message asking him if he was okay, if he'd been to the doctors, because he said he wasn't well. He goes, oh yeah, thanks, Sandra, I'm fine now. And so he jumped from being on the video chat going, oh, I really miss you, I'm crazy about you, you know, I want you to know I love you and all the rest of it, to just like not messaging me and like, oh yeah, thanks for that. It's like, and then sent me a picture just going, have a good day, like, because I'd messaged him. And I'm like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, well, no plan to actually video chat with me again. You know, where's the interaction and the talking and the caring? And do you know what I mean? It just feels like he's not really that bothered. He said he's a simple guy, and I know when Indian guys have said that to me in the past, it usually means they're quite lazy. They just rather go along in life, not really putting effort in. So I don't know. I think maybe I was right about him. I honestly don't know whether I was right about him or what, but maybe he is interested in, you know, because I'm foreign and like an Indian guy because he thinks I can get him into the country or something. I don't know. But he seems really happy in his life otherwise. So that's why I thought he was genuine, because I didn't see a need for him to be in this country. So therefore I thought he was telling me the truth when he said he liked me. But for someone who says they're crazy about me, his behaviour and his attitude about the video chatting and about like coming over here and all the rest of it, it's very blasé. And, you know, and if he was that crazy about me, he would have messaged me like yesterday. He was online on Facebook. It's not like he wasn't on there. So he could have just messaged me and asked me how my day was or something. But he didn't. It's just like gone back to like chatting to a mate like again, you know? It's very like, he goes like really like, oh, I really like you, love you, miss you and all the rest of it, crazy about you, really romantic, to like this type of like, hey, all right, type thing, hi. It's like completely opposite ends, do you know what I mean? It's very confusing. So yeah, I just messaged him earlier today saying, I've had a deep think about things. Thanks for your interest in me. I've had a deep think about things and you're not going to be suitable, you know, you're not suitable for me. But I wish you luck finding a foreign girl who can help you get into her country. And he just wrote back saying, what happened? You don't understand me. And that was it. I mean, he says all the time that he just wants someone to love him and to understand him. But, like, what about understanding me? You know, what about understanding my needs and what I want and about me? Do you know what I mean? So, that's it, really. And he just went offline. So, yeah. So, maybe I was right about him. I don't know. I don't honestly know. Really. I don't know him well enough. I just think that my mum thinks he's just like... My mum's like, well, if he's already asking you to sponsor him, and you've only just met him, likely he's just using you and saying he loves you because he wants you to get him in here. So, I don't know. I thought that in the beginning, but then I thought he was genuine because I saw his facial expression, you know, genuine emotion, I thought. But I think, to be honest, he's got his set life there. I told him, because with the video chatting, I said, you're obviously not ready for a foreign relationship, like a relationship with a foreign girl, because he said he doesn't want to marry an Indian girl, right? So he said that he wanted a foreign girl. So wherever the foreign person is, likelihood is they're not going to be on the same time scale as him. So the likelihood is they're going to be working when he's not, and vice versa. And he's going to have to put some effort into video chatting to them and making time at weird hours. Like, you have to, like, when you're, like, not in the same country, you have to, like, do it in the middle of the night sometimes or early morning. Like, I said to him, like, I don't want to be the one doing it early morning or in the middle of the day all the time, because that's not fair on me. Like I said, in this country, it's equality for women. You know, I don't want to be with a guy or have a guy interested in me, or, you know, I don't, because he wanted a relationship with me. So I don't want that type of guy that expects me to just do what he says and be there for me when he wants me to be, which I really got the impression that's what he wants. You know, someone who'll fit in with his life. But I said, what are you going to do if I'm working for an employer again? Because if I'm working for an employer, I don't get back till 7 or 8 o'clock my time, because the other day we video chatted at 6 o'clock. And I said, yeah, but I can't usually do that. I'm usually busy doing my computer work. I said, that was a one-off, like, and I said, you know, usually my friends Skype me late at night, like 10 or 11 at night. And he's like, well, I'll be sleeping then. And I said, well, some Indian guys, they've got up in the middle of the night. They've slept before, and then they've got up and Skype me. Other Indian guys have done that. So it's not like it can't be done. But then I did say about suitable time. We discussed it. And then I said about the fact that I could do 1 a.m. my time, but not all the time, because I have work to do and stuff, and sometimes I might need to sleep. And then he said that he goes for a walk in the park then anyway at 5 a.m. 5:30 a.m. his time. So he said, oh, I would be happy to do that. So I thought, great. But then, you know, it's just, you know, nothing's really gone on with that. So, you know, it's kind of really difficult. You know, it's like it never ends well for me with Indian guys, or never goes well. And I tend to be attracted to aesthetically to Indian guys the most. So it's kind of tough. Like, I do get attracted aesthetically to other foreign guys, but it's kind of like, I believe I'm meant to be with an Indian asexual guy though, not sexual. And so it's kind of like, yeah, but it doesn't bode well for me, does it really? Never goes right. So I find it really difficult. Yeah, and it's like, I was trying to explain to my mum, she doesn't really get it. Like, she's been with my dad, married to him for 50 years next year. But if I remotely, you know, like, seem like I really want a foreign guy, you know, she doesn't understand. It's like, just because I'm asexual doesn't mean to say that I don't want kisses and cuddles and to be close to someone. You know, I just don't want the sex. And in my case, I'm nudity repulsed, you know. I think there seems to be this thing where she thinks, or she just doesn't understand me. It's like it's wrong for me to be with someone, you know. And I told her time and time again, I can't be with a British guy. I'm just not I have to have aesthetic attraction for kissing, right? And I love kissing. And I just don't get strongly attracted enough to British guys to want to kiss them ever. I've only ever been attracted to a British guy who was in my old job, and he was sexual. That was years ago, enough to want to kiss him. That was it, you know, and that's been since 2011. That's one guy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not a lot of guys, is it? And he actually admitted that he wanted sex with me. He said, I want to be with you, but I want that. And you can't give me that. I'm like, no, I can't. And that was really upsetting and horrible for me. But, you know, he's a bit of a user anyway, so I'm glad I didn't ever pursue that. Because he was after little women, he doesn't really care about them. You know, sadly, that's what he's like. So, yeah, this is really difficult video for me to do, you know. And I kind of thought, well, maybe because he hasn't messaged me much yesterday that he's really not that bothered anyway. But I just think it's too much of an effort for him. But if he wants to get a foreign girl, he's going to have to make an effort. The likelihood of their schedules, his and hers, actually matching up is going to be ridiculously slim. And it requires both people, if you're interested in a relationship like that, putting effort and time in and going out their way for each other. But both people, not just me. Do you know what I mean? That's not fair on me. You know, he admits that I do more work than he does. Therefore, if I do more work than he does, when I say work, I mean, it's not really paid work. It's like doing website stuff. Like, I'm trying to change my asexualise.com site into a shop at the moment. It looks dreadful because literally I've had to strip everything off, all the products and everything, to restart over because the website was so slow. It was going it was like taking 2 whole minutes to load. And in terms of website design, that's really bad. So I had to literally stop all the plugins, re-put them all back on slowly, but test all the site speed, put new plugins in there. You might not know what a plugin is if you don't do website design, but basically I've had to take all the old products off the shop, all the old pictures, because they need compressing the pictures so that they don't take up so much bandwidth, so that the space is it doesn't take so long to load. So yeah, so I've spent ages doing that, and you know, like even today, all the old tags and the old categories, I had to strip them off. It took me hours. And you know, this site that I've been, you know, supposed to have the best products of Amazon in my shop, you know, they were all, like, tons of them were there. They were like 175, and now there's nothing because I've had to completely get rid of them all. And a lot of the time you couldn't get rid of them in bulk, so I had to like individually get rid of a lot of them. It took me hours and hours. And yesterday I had to get rid of like images, like over 2,500 images. And then I have to go and like put all this stuff back, but new ones. It's just, you know, I meant to have finished this like early last week, and it's still going on. You know, it's probably going to be another 3 or 4 days before I get this finished. And it looks dreadful at the moment. It's only got like a slider with blog posts on there at the moment, and it's got all the old headers for the categories, but no products under them. But what can you do? You know, I can only do what I can do. Like yesterday, I did 6 hours non-stop of deleting all these images, and like my brain was frazzled after that, just staring at the computer, doing that all the time. So I had to have a break. You know, I just didn't. My brain was like switching off. Like, don't do any more work. It's just too much for you. You can't do any more. And you know, so it was kind of hard. And it's not quite as loading as quickly as it should be. So ideally, the ideal thing for a website to load is within 5 seconds, and I think now it's going up to 6, 7 or 8 sometimes, which is not great. But I think when it gets a shop on there with all the products again, I think it's going to be even longer time. But you know, it's really hard to get all the settings right. I mean, I've got as many plugins as I can fix, but even some of the plugins that are supposed to do certain things, actions to make sure that the website runs quicker, even some of those settings aren't working properly now. It's like, but they can conflict with each other as well, so you've got to be so careful. So yeah, I'm kind of still having problems with that at the moment. There's no products on there at all anymore, but it will be back. But it's just going to take me a while to rebuild all that, quite a long time, quite a few days. So yeah, today I'm going to go out on a self-date. I already decided Mission Impossible I'm going to see. I looked that up last night. And it'll be good to self-date because, you know, it helps me get back in touch with my own soul and do lots more self-loving that I really need at the moment, you know. And I like I said, I'm extrovert, so I do like having friends. I do like seeing friends. I love going out on my own. I self-date tons, you know, whenever I can, you know. So it's not like I'm lonely as in I can't go out on my own or do things on my own. I mean, I've been single predominantly now since 2011. So, you know, 7 years I'm used to doing stuff on my own. But it's like lately I've been feeling like, you know, I really would like that human in-person warmth a lot more, you know. And I just love that, you know. And I like chatting and I like meeting people, and I'm outgoing. So if I'm in my flat constantly all the time, it gets a bit like I need to go out. And you know, and I'm really young as well. I like mixing with young people because I'm really young, and sometimes just it's not good if I'm in an older environment all the time. So yeah, I need to really be around young people as well. So because that's good for my soul. So yeah, today's video has been a bit hard, as you can imagine, because now I'm like, well, I've told that guy he's not suitable for me because he's not matching my needs, to be quite honest. I like, if someone's really into me like they say they are, I like them to be a bestest ever friend, you know, and like message each other, video chat, have fun, hang out, get to know each other, you know. And if someone says, like the way he said, I'm crazy about you, Sandra, you know, I'm going to be the most craziest guy ever for you, and then he's like really not making an effort, you know, like, all right, he ended the video chat, and then he's like, oh, we'll have to arrange another video chat sometime. It's like, well, yeah, what's going on with that? And then the next message is like, next time he's not even bothering to message, and the next message is very much like a mate, like, oh, hi, thanks, you know, have a nice day, you know. It's just like really casual again. It's like, just doesn't feel good. It feels like really disconnected. No continuity there. Do you know what I mean? It's just like he used to message me before before we were even talking much. You know, when he kept saying before we even got into a lot of conversations, oh, do you miss me? And I'm like, well, I can't really miss someone who doesn't keep in touch with me, who just writes me these, like, we're like pen pals, just writes me these little messages. I can't really be connected to someone like that. I can't really miss someone like that. So I suppose that's the only thing. It does me a favour because it makes me miss him less, because it's like, well, you know what I mean? As an asexual person, the way I love in particular is through an emotional connection and communication. If those if the communication goes down, or if the connection goes away or down, then you know it's not good for me. I can't you know, feel comfortable or happy in the so-called relationship that's trying to be formed or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I just can't be comfortable in that type of, you know, situation. It's like if I was in an actual full-on relationship, I would need that constant communication and connection, because it's just the type of person I am. And you know, if I don't get that, I feel like I may as well just stay single, because I'm happier being single, you know, because I love me and I can take myself out and I can talk to myself lots and make myself really happy and speak nicely to myself and praise myself, which is so important, you know, for self-loving, you know. And when you have something like this happen as well, you kind of need a lot more self-love and self-talk, like, because you can feel down about yourself as a person or about things about yourself. So you have to kind of say, you know, like I have to say in my shower, you know, like, I love you, Sandra, you're a beautiful person, you're really kind and caring. You know, if that person doesn't want to spend time with you or doesn't put an effort, you know, that's up to them, because you deserve someone who values your time, who appreciates all your time you put in, especially considering all the work you do and the fact you made time for him when you don't know him that well and you're trying to understand him and trying to get to know him. And that person should appreciate you a lot more and should value your worth more. And he should, you know, have continuity. And he should be looking to get over in this country himself, not relying on you to do that, because that's not fair on you, you know. So this is a type of conversation I have with myself, which is the reality of the situation. Now, I've got me who's really upset. My heart is like, you know, kind of really upset and hurt. You know, like the love things really hurt. It feels like I'm being crushed type thing, that that this person comes into my life, says all this, and you know, I don't really think they mean it now, and it kind of feels a bit crushing. But then I've got this really awesome side of me that, you know, that you have to self-talk a lot, and you have to say to yourself, look, Sandra, this guy is clearly not good enough for you. He's not matching your needs. He's not going to be the type of person you want for communication, for keeping in contact, for really being the, you know, when he says he's crazy about you, he's not actually showing in his actions he's crazy about you. He's just talking about it. There's a huge difference between being crazy for someone in speech and being crazy for someone because you're showing through the actions. You're saying, okay, so great to video chat with you, so when can we chat next? You know, what day are you free this week to video chat? You know, because they respect me. And you know, and they he could have said, well, I know I offered to video chat with you at 1 a.m, so you know, is that still suitable for you? Which day would you like to do? You know, and he could be saying throughout the day, you know, rather than just hi, have a nice day, he could, like a mate would do, he could be saying, I miss you, like he keeps saying video chat and stuff, and really, you know, how's your work going, how's the computer work, or, you know, he could be a lot more proactive, is what I'm saying, putting effort in. But I think with the lack of effort and the fact he's not bothered, and the fact he, you know, 1 minute he say I'm crazy about you, the next minute he doesn't act like it, you know, actions speak far louder than words. They always have done. And if a guy's saying something but his actions don't match it, it means he's not being genuine. And I pretty much knew the other day, as soon as I was on about the video chat, and he was on about, oh, when you've got a holiday, we can video chat. Well, he wasn't bothered about video chatting with me, which was really hurtful. Because if you're crazy about someone, you really want to see them and spend time with them. You really want to reach out to them and get to know them better. And you really want to be in that person's life. You know, that what he's saying is not matching what he's doing. Therefore, he can't be a genuine guy, you know? Not really. Or he's just a lazy guy like the rest of them, you know? Which could be the case. But, you know, it's like, I just think it's not good. So I have to give myself a lot of self-love, self-talk when I'm like this. And just think, well, at least it's better you found out this earlier. And, you know, I need an asexual guy anyway. And I prefer a guy in his 20s. To 30s. 30 gets a bit old for me. It's like a man. I actually prefer a young guy's like physique. Like if I'm gonna see a bare chest, I'd rather see a guy's bare chest in his 20s than a guy's bare chest in his 30s. Like a 30s is kind of a man's body. Like I know it might sound weird, but I'm not really into men's bodies. I'm not into adult. I'm just not into adult stuff. I guess I'm like into kid stuff. You know, I don't like kids like that. Obviously, I'm not into that. I'm not that. I mean, a guy in his 20s. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll be very strict about that. I'm not into children as in being a mother to them. I'm not into kids as in doing anything disgusting. I'm not that person at all. Just make that perfectly clear. But what I mean to say is, like, I prefer like a younger guy, you know, because I've got a 21st mindset, and I prefer guys in their early to mid 20s. It's just what I'm like. And I get attracted to them, and I don't really like a alpha male either, so he's very muscly is another thing, because he goes to the gym. Well, he doesn't say he's that muscly, but he's quite big on the chest and muscles, and it's not really the type of guy that I would want to feel close to in terms of like physique usually, because I usually prefer a skinny guy, someone who's skinny. And I know it sounds really weird because I'm not a skinny girl, but I prefer a skinny guy, like who's younger, not an alpha male man's body. Do you know what I mean? I've never been into muscles. I mean, this Indian guy's, beautiful looking, but he's not my usual type, which kind of is another point that can make it a little bit easier for me to detach. Stay detached. But the whole thing's really upset me, because I thought, well, maybe this is a decent guy. He really does care. He could possibly live without sex. He really would like to come over here. He is really crazy about me. Maybe this is all true. But now I'm thinking, well, probably it isn't, or he doesn't want to put that much effort into it. So there's no point. I can easily get a guy who doesn't want to put much effort in. There's plenty of guys like that in the world. There's tons of them everywhere. I'm sure there's a lot of women like that as well. There's a guy in my group at the moment, and he's finding it really hard. He's an ambivert, which is in between introvert and extrovert. But he said that he's fed up in my dating group of people not just making small chat with him. He said, I want to form a proper, real relationship. I want to get to know someone through, proper conversation. And then, he wants to go into a relationship. He wants that to be the end goal. Do you see what I mean? And he's fed up because he's an ambivert, but he wants an extrovert. I mean, I'm not suitable because I live in a different country, and he wants Muslim marriage and stuff like that, which I'm not into. He's vegan. He wants someone vegan, so it's gonna be hard for him to get that, just like it's hard for me to get an asexual Indian guy. But I appreciate where he's coming from, because he's saying like they just talk. It's just banal talk. These people are not really, wanting to talk to him that much. It's just making polite chit chat, which is not what he's after. He's after someone who's really interested and serious about having a relationship with him and making plans for the future. And that's kind of like, that's kind of where I feel I am at sometimes. Like, I'm 50-50 sometimes. Like, once I really enjoy my single life. So far, no guy's made me more happy than I make myself, which is clearly from this video. I'm upset. Whereas normally when I'm single and don't really think about guys that much, I'm much happier. But me and him are very similar thinking about these stuff, in terms of, like, if I'm having a relationship, I'm full on in there. I know that a relationship takes a lot of work and effort. It's like another full-time job on top of your full-time job. You've got to sort of, what is it called? You've got to water the flowers in order for them to bloom. You don't water the flowers, they die off. And they go to, stubble, or they just completely die off and rot. And that's what happens with a relationship that you don't tend to. It's like, if you don't water the flowers, you'll end up with rot. You'll end up with no flower left, rot, all this gross stuff that goes back down to the roots and sinks back in its hole into the soil and the earth. And it's like, and then it's really, the flower's dead. Do you see what I mean? You can't have a relationship like this. Same with friendships. You have to nurture friendships to a certain extent. Like, some people I always be friends with, even though I don't talk to them very often. We've got that type of bond. But the majority, you need to sort of check in sometimes with your best friends. Because, how do they know that they're still your best friends? How do they know that you actually care about them if you don't check in with them? I don't need to be in contact as much as my friends, as much as I do if I was with a guy in a relationship. But, I thought this guy was really serious about me. I thought he really cared. But, it was a dead giveaway when he said about video chat. Well, maybe, maybe when you're on holiday. I mean, that's just a get out clause, isn't it? Like, I don't want a video chat with you, really. I mean, he gave the excuse of he's shy and that's why he didn't want to do it. And because it's late at night, and basically it interrupts his routine from what I can see. But it's like, well, you should be prioritising the person you say you love or, crazy about. You should be making them a priority in your life, and you should be working out with them how you're going to talk to them. Because if he wants a foreign girl, if it's not me, he's going to have to do that with some other girl anyway. Unless he gets a subservient girl who happens to have all those hours free that he's free in the day, and they can chat and video chat in the day all the time, or message each other for hours. maybe you should just get a woman who doesn't work and who likes doing housework or something, and who's not as intelligent as me and doesn't have a brain to think for herself about, yeah, he seems like he wants to come over here because he wants to be sponsored by you, and and someone who just not very active, and leads a nice passive life, and they just message each other when they're bored. I don't know, maybe that type of girl would suit him better, I don't know. But it's not me. I mean, I like a proactive guy. I like a guy who's proactive, not reactive. I like a guy who's on the ball, who puts effort in, who makes an effort to get his goals, ambitions and dreams as well in his life. And, if he thinks I'm one of them, that he should go for it and, take the steps to get it. I don't want to be there mothering a guy saying, well, this is what you should do and that's what you should do. He should be thinking about that for himself if he really cares about me. My mum said, look, if this guy really genuinely cares about you, then let him come over here. He should be the one making an effort to come over here if he's a genuine guy, not asking you to sponsor him and stuff like that, because that's not good. He's basically just using you. And, so, and then she said, oh, are you that desperate? And I said, no, I'm not desperate to get, I said, I'm not desperate. It's not about being desperate. I said, I just I can't be with I can't be with a British guy. I actually want an Indian asexual guy, and this guy is not asexual. I said he's not even really the type of guy I would usually be interested in. I said, but I do know it's hard for these guys to get in this country. He's right about that, because I've had other guys before, but exactly. Desperate for what? I don't know. I don't really know. It's horrible. I was really upset, to be honest, because my parents have been like this for a long time with me, It's not very nice. They don't understand that I want someone in a relationship close. I guess they mean desperate for a relationship. But I said to my mum, well, I can be on my own forever. But it's kind of like, my parents I'm not being funny, but I'm an only child and my parents are not going to be around forever. I talk to my mum quite a bit, like in the daytimes, like when I'm, I like people to talk to. And I can message people online, but obviously everyone's got lives of their own. But I like a person to talk to on the phone and to actually have conversations with. And so I phone my mum up quite a bit, But it's like my parents aren't going to be around forever, and I need to make more friends. So I've got people here. Like I'd like to see more people in person. Like my best friend, I've got a best female friend and she loves me to bits and I'm really thankful, and she'll see me as much as she can. But she might be going off as well because she's does singing. So she said that she might be going off, like, which I want her to do that because I want her to do her dream. I admire people who do their dream. I'm fully supportive of her singing. I push her all the time like her other friend does. But she's probably going to go off like to Spain or somewhere, or on cruise ships or something, to do singing, which I'm really proud of her, and I want her to go for her because I'm that kind of person. But that's she's been like the bestest female friend I've ever had in my life, and she really loves and cares about me as a friend. And so it's kind of hard. Sorry, we get really emotional now. It's kind of hard because she'll probably go. So then, I need to have more friends in Exeter, which I'm trying to get by going out dancing and stuff, which is probably not the bestest place to go and get friends. But I kind of get on better with guys and women as well, in general. Not that my best girlfriend, this woman friend of mine, she's incredible. But in general, I tend to get on best with guys anyway. So it's kind of like, I do want some more, sorry, I'm really getting emotional today, more friends. But, it's like lately, that's why I've been going out dancing as well, because I miss that human connection, like, with a guy in terms of relationship. I don't need to be in a relationship. I think as human beings, it's perfectly fine for us to want connection and stuff. It's like I had counselling years ago, and I said about this type of thing, and the counsellor's like, well, it's natural for you want to be around people like you. It's good for you to be around people like yourself. And, it's also, it's a natural right, it's a human nature thing to want to have someone. Like, I can be happy being single. I can be single for the rest of my life, and I might very well be single for the rest of my life. But I kind of feel like I'm kind of made to feel a bit like I shouldn't be having a relationship at all. And it's just like odd, It's kind of like, well, surely you'd want someone for me if I want that, It's like kind of like, Just because I'm asexual doesn't mean to say that I don't deserve a nice person to be in a relationship with me, who values my worth and who really cares about me. And unfortunately, I don't get attracted to British guys, and none of the British guys' asexual friends are suitable for me anyway. You know, I feel a little bit of romance for some of my British guy friends who are asexual sometimes. They're not enough to want to be in a relationship with them. And even when we kind of discuss it, not like straight outright, but when we kind of like skirt around the edges, or even if we do talk about it outright, I have talked about it outright with one of the guys. Well, I haven't, but I have. Oh, so I'll tell you what I do. I normally ask them what they think. I don't say how I feel that much. Sometimes I do. I kind of do. But, you know, I ask them how they feel about relation, or I skirt around the edges saying, I'm looking for this, and they'll go, no, I'm looking for that. And that's basically saying, oh yeah, we're similar on this, but we're not suitable on that, so that's it, give it up. But none of those guys I want to kiss, and I absolutely adore kissing. It's kind of a basic need in a relationship for me, which obviously if you're aromantic, you won't feel like that. But you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's like, well, why shouldn't I have someone one day? Do you know what I mean? But, you know, I like living on my own. I don't want marriage. I don't want kids. And most aromantics don't mind living separate. But most romantics, they actually want to live with someone as well, which makes my life even more difficult. I mean, I think in my mind, if I was with a person, like, I kind of would... part of me would want to live with them because I'd be feeling romance and missing them a lot, because I do get... I'm very hyper romantic. I do, like, get quite attached to the person. Automatically, which I try not to, but it does happen. So kind of like, I probably would, part of me would probably want to live with them, but the rest of me wouldn't. I think I'd be fine living alone. Oh yeah, you don't live alone, do you? I live alone. I mean, I've lived on my own for 14 years, actually. 4 years. I didn't live with my ex for a very long time, for the majority of my relationship with him. So I've lived here for 14 years, 4. And I love it. And I absolutely adore living on my own. I prefer living on my own to living with someone. It's always been better for me. So I love that, you know. I've met one guy recently who's foreign in the UK, and he also doesn't want to live with a person, but he wants a committed relationship still. But he is on the grey asexual end of the spectrum, and he needs to touch the woman's body all over, and I can't be doing with that. I just can't. He needs that. Like, I need kissing. He likes the kissing, but he also likes to, he says he's sensual, and he likes to feel the body of a woman, and I can't be doing with it. I don't want a guy's hands all over my body. And he's older as well. He's in his 50s in the end, he turned out to be. He looks like he's at least 10 years younger, but, you know, even 10 years younger would be far older than I'd really want to be with. Like, a guy, I don't really want to be with a guy in his 40s. I dated a heterosexual guy for 2 months last year. He was 43, older than me, because I'm not 43, I'm younger than that. But, you know, and that was weird. But he looked about 38, but even so, that's still older than I would usually go for, because I usually go for younger guys. But, yeah, it was very bizarre. But, yeah, so there we have it, really. It's a bit of a sad video, this, isn't it? I knew I was going to get upset, because I was upset before I even did it, so I thought I may as well stick it in the title, gets emotional, so if anyone tunes in, then they will expect it, because I've just had a nice long shower. You know, it'll be good for me to go and watch the film tonight on my own, self-date. I was going to do that anyway, so it's not because of him, it's just because I was going to do it, because on Mondays it's bargain day, and I wanted to see the film last week, but it wasn't on in the cinema with bargain day last week. So yeah, I'm going to be going to that Mission Impossible action movie, which should be great to take my mind off things. You know, to be quite honest, I don't know if the guy's genuine or not, this guy, but I just know he can't meet my needs, really. He just doesn't put enough effort in. And I think he has a simple life and wants to keep it that way, by the sound of it. But, you know, if you're going to have a relationship, you really need to put effort in. And if you're not prepared to do that, really, you shouldn't. The prize being the relationship, it shouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean? Because they're not worthy of the prize, if you know what I mean. Putting it in that way. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you're trying to win something, you're not going to win it if you don't put effort into it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you don't achieve any goals, ambitions and dreams in life by just wishing you'd had them. You have to put effort in to go and get them. You know, I was so fortunate to speak at the UK Asexuality conference, but it wasn't just about being fortunate. It was about the fact that I had been waiting for a couple of years to speak on stage in London, and that's basically it was in London, and it was in a lecture theatre, so you could argue it's on stage. Well, it pretty much was, wasn't it? So that was my dream come true, and I had that dream for over 2 years. And even this speaker wanted me to do his course, and I couldn't afford it. And I said to the speaker, he speaks for a living. I'm actually in his book, and I'm friends with him on Facebook. He's an amazing, amazing guy. And yeah, I even said to her, I said, look, I haven't got the money for your course, I'll be honest. I said, but if I want to be a speaker, I'll make it happen. I just will. And, you know, and I, you know, like, I got asked to go on the speaking panel for Avon as well. So I put my name down for that, because I was once was on the speaker team for the UK Sexuality Conference. The guy who organised it said, oh, you can apply to be on the speaker team now if you want. So I did. So I can call myself a speaker now, you know, and I had a blast, and it was amazing. But that was been a dream come true for, like, I think it was like 2 years I had that dream for, I think. You know, so I just felt incredible to achieve something. You know, you might not know, but I've actually met the Queen at St James's Palace. And, you know, that was amazing. Her Majesty the Queen, I spoke to her. You know, not many people can say that. And just to prove it, I'm going to prove it now because I've got the pictures. Hang on, stay there, don't move. They're on my bed. Excuse me for doing this. But, oh God, I think they're a bit stuck on my wall actually. But I will show you because people don't necessarily believe it. Do you know what I mean? So, this is when I was talking to the Queen. I don't know if you can see that. See? It was a professional photographer. This is me here. I don't know if you can see because of the light. Let me close the curtains a minute. Because it's a bit, like, hard to see, isn't it, with the reflection? Can you see now? Oh, you see, yeah. So, that's me in the dress. And I'm talking to her. And this is St James's Palace. And then there's another picture as well. So, look. That's me in my dress when she's just gone by. You see that? Sorry, it's really reflective, isn't it? Can you see that okay? So that's me again. She's just walked by there. So she's actually talking to someone else. So that's me and that's her. And that's the guy, yeah. So you see that one too, that's great. And also, I also got a Good Citizens Award for saving someone's life. So that's something else you don't know about me. I was in the newspaper for it. I'll just get my Good Citizens Award. Actually, I think you can see it. I don't know if you can see it if I lift it up. Let me go and take you for a walk on my bed. This is going to be quite amusing. Okay? So rather than pull everything off my walls, I'm just going to take you for a walk on my bed. Oh my gosh, because I did have these on the wall. I did have the Queen thing on the wall. I've got to elegantly get up now. Okay? So, yeah. Do you see that? That's a Good Citizens Award. Oh my gosh. See? So I got Good Citizens Award. That's from the police for saving someone's life. I don't know if you can see that. Oops. There we go. So yeah, the woman whose life I saved nominated me for that, which was nice. And then I got, I was a health buddy, technically still am. So that was my certificate, which was actually given to me with a bouquet of flowers and my invitation to the palace. It's too jiggly to read, but I can see it. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me see if I can just... Can you see that? Yeah, it probably is going to be too jiggly to read. But all I need you to see is it says about Good Citizens Award. Really? Because it's going to be too small to read. But it says, I hereby commend Sandra Bellamy for public spirit and bravery. I can read it if you want. It's for from the Devon Commanders Award, so that's the police. So it says, on the evening of the 3rd of January 2013, Miss Sandra Bellamy came across a distressed lady who was attempting... I have read the large writing. Okay. Yes, it says, Miss Sandra Bellamy came across a distressed lady who was attempting to jump from a bridge. With a selfless approach to her own personal safety, she immediately went to her aid. Unfortunately, the lady fell, but still Miss Bellamy put her first and went to the bottom of the bank to offer further assistance, ensuring her head was kept out of the water and to offer reassurance until the police arrived. When PC Andrew Elliott arrived, he found Miss Bellamy, although visibly alarmed and shocked, calm enough to assist in ensuring the lady was kept safe. Her actions were far beyond those expected of an average member of the public. She continued this completely selfless attention to the lady who had fallen even after emergency services had taken over her care. This was clearly again beyond any normal expectation, and Miss Bellamy's entire approach was dedicated to ensuring the lady's welfare. It was evident when the circumstance had been relayed fully that Miss Bellamy's actions had minimalised the height and energy with which the lady fell, and that this is likely to have significantly reduced the chances of serious or life-changing injuries. Despite having no relationship to the lady, Miss Bellamy showed an exceptional commitment to trying to prevent her from falling, followed by a dedication to promote life and recovery once she had fallen. Thank you for stepping forward and your willingness to do all you could to help. So yeah, that's what it says. If you caught all that, sorry, it's a bit difficult when I'm like trying to read it. It's because it's reflective. So yeah, and then I got that as well, certificate of achievement, which was for basically saving someone's life, but I was a health buddy at the time. So yeah, so I hope you liked that. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. I at least heard it. Yeah, I know it's really small writing, but yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It would be great. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So yeah, so you know, I done things in my life that, you know, I mean that that wasn't a goal to save someone's life, but you know, saving someone's life, I know my life has been worth living since 2013 because I saved someone. I'm actually friends with her on Facebook. If you want to know what happened afterwards, I went and saw her the next day in the hospital, and she had like her arm, because what it didn't say on there was basically what happened is I saw her going to go over the side of the bridge, and she sat down and was over the edge, and I was approaching her. I can't say why she was doing what she did. Obviously it's confidential and I can't go into any details because I'm still confidential about it for her, with her identity and stuff, even though she came into my work afterwards and said I saved her life. So she did tell some people, but she was anonymous in the paper and that. And so yeah, but she was on the edge of the cliff, and I don't want to go into too much details because I'm friends with her on Facebook. But yeah, so she was falling down, and basically I grabbed hold of one of her arms trying to keep her up till the people arrived, but she fell down and went into the water because it was January. So I held her with one arm up against the rock, but it was just, she was too far down the cliff edge, if you know what I mean. It's not actually a normal bridge. It's like a historic building where they used to have, like, I think it used to be like, I don't know, was it an old church or something? I think it was bombed in the war or whatever, and there's just parts of it left, and it's like a bridge, and you know, it's like really rocky. So yeah, she was just going too far down. So I held her arm to try and keep her upright, but the emergency services couldn't get there in time, and she fell in the water head first, and then I had to go down the water while still talking to a policewoman on the phone and literally get her head out of the water, and then the ambulance turned up. But yeah, I saw her afterwards, and she had like a dislocated pelvis, and they told her it'd be 6 months before she could walk again, and she hurt her arm as well. Obviously I had to hold her arm up for as long as possible. I couldn't drag her, I couldn't pull her back up because she was just too far over, and I would have literally flipped over myself. And so yeah, but yeah, within April, this happened in January, and with April she could walk again, and we met up for a drink in Marks and Spencer, and she walked with a stick, and now she doesn't even use a stick or anything, you know, because I'm friends with her on Facebook, or if I see her in the city I give her a big hug, and she's a really lovely person. Really, it's just sad that it's the loveliest people that, you know, that end up trying to want to not be here anymore in life. And I get that because I was suicidal years ago myself, so I do understand it can be really difficult. But I mean, luckily I do love my life now. I live a very quirky, individualistic teenager lifestyle, and I love it. And I've actually always been happier since I've been single than with someone. It would just be nice if a genuine guy came along who, you know, who I could trust and who really did mean what he said and put effort in, You know, I think there's a lot of people in the world that don't put enough effort into things sometimes. I just find that a bit sad. You know, because my opinion is, if you're going to do something, you may as well do it full on, full on, and you know, and take all the necessary steps you can to achieve your dreams. So, yeah, I won an award as well. I don't know if you can see that in the background. That certificate there is award for one of my websites. The one on the where is it? The one on the bottom there. So below the heart. Yeah. Anyway, it's been really nice to chat to you, Michael. Thanks very much for coming on the live stream. It's been a difficult video for me to do, but it's nice that you got to see some of the other stuff I've done, like the Queen and everything, because not many people know that I went to St James's Palace and met her, but it was one of the most amazing times in my life. And you know, I can say I've had success because, you know, I've met her Queen, Her Majesty the Queen spoke to her as well. I said that I'd received a Good Citizens Award for saving someone's life because I was a community service volunteer, which is a health buddy, which is what the other certificate was for. I got a bouquet of flowers, and do I feel better? Not totally, no. I wish I did. I feel happier when I talk about other things and the achievements I've made in my life, and the fact that I've saved someone. You know, that to me is the most important thing in life. Helping other people and saving a life, you know, it's the most important thing you can ever do in your life, isn't it? Saving someone else's life, because, you know, she fell head first in the water. If I hadn't been there, you know, she probably would have drowned in the water. So, you know, there's nothing more precious in the whole world. No money, no nothing that can compare to actually saving someone's life. You know, that's just like a miracle. And you know, I knew in that moment that my life would never, ever be wasted because I've saved someone else's life. And that just to me is a miracle, you know. The miracle of helping someone to keep their life is just incredible feeling. And, you know, that's just amazing. And that's why I'm here in this life, to help people, you know. I like helping people, and I like making people's dreams come true. But that also includes me as well, you know. I need to make my own dreams come true, and I need to find a good guy for me in a relationship, you know. And I have better friends now than I did before, which is really, really nice. I really love having good friends. And, you know, you might have seen my video about keeping your standards in a relationship and friendship. I meant gathering your mind off that guy. Am I feeling better gathering my mind off that guy? See, the thing is, as a hyper romantic, I'm not, you know, I can't really get him off my mind at the moment completely. I talk about other things, but, you know, I'm still upset. I'm trying not to cry all the time because it's just going to be too much crying in the video. Do you know what I mean? It's like going to be like blub, 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 and I don't want that for my viewers. So I'm kind of like holding back a bit, but I'm still really sad and upset, and I just need a good cry. I think it's really good as well that if you feel upset, to have a good cry. I don't think it's a point bottling up or holding it in, because I know from the past, when you hold it in, it goes on for days and days and days. Like if I cry now, maybe crying tomorrow or the next day or whatever, I know that I'll be better, you know, I'll cope better, I'll be okay. But if I retain it in, it just builds up in bad feelings inside. So it's not good. So if you are upset about any situations, don't not show your emotions, and don't not be emotional, because the best thing is to let that emotion out, because the quicker it gets out, the more happy you'll feel. I've learned that in my life, and it can be really difficult, you know. But, you know, if I feel like crying, I can feel it sometimes. I'm just like, Sandra, you just have to let yourself do it, because obviously instinct is, oh, I don't want myself to be sad. I don't want to cry over this guy. What's the point? He's not worth it, you know. There's plenty of other guys out there, and he's not even asexual. Do you know what I mean? He's come into my life like a whirlwind. He'll probably go out again like a whirlwind. He's really not putting the time and effort into you. This is how I feel better, actually. I feel better listing all the reasons why it's good for me to actually tell him he's not suitable for me, because he doesn't meet, you know, he doesn't meet my standards, you know. He's not putting in as enough effort as he should be. His words aren't matching his actions. He's not even asexual, so I haven't lost anything in that way, and I'm not sure it would even work out the fact he reckons he can live without sex. But how would that work in practice? I mean, even guys on the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum find, you know, they get turned on by me just talking about kissing. You know, it makes the, you know, because some asexuals can still experience arousal. I mean, I do experience arousal myself. So, but, you know, so it's not like, you know, if they asexuals on the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum get like that over me, like some of them, it aren't even that. Some of them are heteromantics as well. They're not even grey asexuals, some of them. But I think they are grey asexuals, a lot of them though, but they just don't realise it. But, you know, so it's kind of like, how would a guy who's actually sexual handle that? Do you know what I mean? Because I need to kiss. I'm not going to be deprived of kisses just because some bloke, you know, is sexual and reckons he can live without sex. I'm not going to do that. You know, I still need all the kissing. You know, I've had that in the past. Like, some guys are like, oh, I won't kiss you unless you have sex with me. And it's like, no. Well, my needs aren't being met then, are they? I can't be like that. I can't live like that. It's like, oh, horrible. You know, so if I list all the reasons why this guy isn't suitable for me, that makes me feel better, because I'm like logically thinking that, yes, you're correct. It's not good. If I think about it from an emotional point of view, though, and the conversations we had and the heartstring stuff, then I feel upset about it. Like, you know, like, what's the correct version? Am I right to think he's like just after me to get in the country, or am I wrong about that? So, you know, it's kind of like depends which angle I take from it as to how much I feel better. I do still feel really upset at the moment, you know, but I'm not surprised that I kind of like expected him to just hardly say anything, because I kind of thought, well, you know, you're probably not, if you're not that bothered or about putting effort in, you won't really mind if I just decide to say we're not suitable anyway, because you won't have to continue putting much effort in. Do you know what I mean? So it's not really going to affect him that much. He's going to be like, okay, well, yeah, you know what I mean? All this, I really, you know, like the other day he was going, how am I going to live without you? Because I said to him, I said, I can't be in a relationship with you anyway unless you come over here. I just can't. So it's like so much for, I'm crazy about you. No one's crazy about you than me. I love you. All the rest of the rubbish. It's just rubbish, isn't it? And, you know, he said it was a true and pure connection that we had. No, Ronald, I'm not okay. I haven't heard from you in ages. And the Indian guy that I liked, he's sexual and he wasn't putting much effort into me. And, yeah, I was really upset about it, to be honest. So, yeah, I had an Indian guy like me. Yeah, it's been so long. You never replied to me. I know. I haven't even video chatted with you for ages. So yeah, I had, so Ronald, you don't know, but I had an Indian guy who was really interested in me, and he's sexual, not asexual. And, you know, I've just told him that I'm not suitable. He's not suitable for me because he's not putting the effort in, you know? It's really weird seeing you pop up on my thing. Thanks for checking on me. I really appreciate that. But, you know, it's he's a person that can't get into this country, and I think he was, you know, he wanted me to sponsor him. Sorry, we were a little back then. I'm sure it was hard to do. Sorry, things were a little hard back then. Yeah, things were really hard between me and you, weren't they? You know, I really liked you. You really liked me. So that was really difficult, as you can see. So I've had like, I was upset over you, and now I'm upset over this Indian guy. It's like, great, you know? It's like, I just want a decent guy who can come to the UK and be in a relationship with me, who can kiss me lots, and who I can adore as much as he adores me. That's what I want, and to be happy together. You wouldn't think it was the earth, would you? But it really is. So yeah, this Indian guy, you know, he seemed to really genuinely like me, but I just think he's after getting in this country, because if you check back through this video, Ronald, you'll see that one of the first things he said to me was about being close to me. How can I be close to you? And then about sponsoring him to come in this country, which I can't do anyway, and I wouldn't want to do. You know, if a guy is interested in me, he needs to come over here off his own back, so I know he's genuine about me, not for me to get him over here. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, and he didn't put the effort in. So, I mean, he wasn't, and then he was, and then he's gone back to just messaging me like a mate again. It's like, well, you know, what was all that about? I'm crazy about you. No one's more crazy about you than me. And I mean, he's older, like, as well. As you know, I like younger guys, Ronald. I like guys in their 20s. This guy is like 34. It's not like he's a kid and doesn't know his own mind. And it says he's got money. So I'm like, fine, we'll pay the tuition fees then. Come over here and study, you know? Just pay it. If you got money, you can easily get in this country, far more than a lot of people can. Just go and apply pay the money and come over here. What's the problem? You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Oh, give me time, you know? This all give me time. I've heard this before from other foreign guys, no offence, but it's just like, give me time is as much to say I can't be bothered to put the effort in. I'm not going to answer this now. I'm not going to do anything about it. That's what it means. It's like, no, what you do is you go and plan it, make goals, take action and do it. You know, I said to him, well, you can come over. If he has money, wouldn't he at least try to come over on a tourist visa? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If he has money, why doesn't he come? That's what I said to him. I said to him the other day about coming for a holiday to see me, because it's much better to see if we get on well first than just go straight into a relationship. And I told him, like I told you, that I can't do a long distance relationship. You know, I told him that because he was interested. He's been interested seriously in a relationship with me. I said, until you can physically get over here, then I can't do anything. You know, I can't be, because I'd go out lately dancing with guys, you know, foreign guys, because I kind of want to be close to a foreign guy, but I haven't got anyone, you know, like boyfriend at the moment. And he's like, oh, I get really jealous if you go with other guys. I'm crazy about you. I love you and all the rest of it. I'm like, really? Where is all this love? It kind of like it's love when it suits him. It's really weird. And it's like he's got this life that he doesn't want, you know, that he's not, you know, it's like, the only reason I feel like some of the time, the only reason he incorporates me in his life because he's got spare time. And I feel the rest of it is kind of like he's forcing it at certain times because I want that rather than him doing it off his own back. I want someone who's, you know, like committed and like, you know, like not video chatting me for hours 1 minute and then the next minute, because he couldn't sleep. So I said, well, we can video chat now instead if you want, of doing it later. And then he said, we'll do it later as planned anyway, but it didn't happen because he fell asleep, which I do, you know, I was like understanding about. But then it's like, you know, in between, like he's not even messaging much now. And when he does, it's like a mate, you know, you can't go from I'm crazy about you, I love you, I miss you, to then all of a sudden like, oh, hi, have a good day. It's like, where's the love? Where's the feeling? Where's all this craziness? It's just rubbish. It's just not true, you know? And the thing is, if a guy's actions are not matching his words, then it kind of means he's not being genuine. And you missed a bit, Ronald, where I said about the fact that about video chatting, and when I couldn't do it at his time in the day because we are different hours, you know, I appreciate people got different hours, but he's interested in a relationship with a foreign girl, right? So he has to make time. From what you said, looks like he's only trying to use you, Sandra. Yeah, I know. Exactly. That's what I thought in the end. But he seemed so genuine. I mean, I saw him on camera getting emotional about the way he feels about me. So I thought, you know, he's genuine. But, you know, if a guy really likes you and he wants a long distance relationship, or, you know, he wants this type, you know, he wants a foreign person, he has to fit it in with her schedule, you know. Like, I've had Indian guys, right? Other Indian guys, and they will literally stay up till 2:30 in the morning, their time, to Skype me at 10 o'clock my time. And this is guys who are not even in a relationship with me will do that. And it's like, well, if other guys will do that who are not crazy about me and who are not interested in me like that, well, they probably are interested in me like that, to be quite honest, those guys. But I mean, if they're not even talking about relationship with me, then it's kind of like, you know, why isn't he even doing that? Who said he's interested in a relationship with me? Hey, if you're feeling down, watch some Shrek. I know that would cheer up for sure. I'm actually going out tonight to the cinema on a self-date. I don't even know what the time is. Oh my God, what's the time? I just need to check the time because I've got to be there later on. I haven't had anything yet. Oh, 7:11. I've got to have some food. Oh God, yeah, I've got to be at the cinema for 8:20. And it's at the other end of my city. And it's 7:11 already. I need to put food in the oven quickly. I better go. Anyway, it's nice to see you, Ronald. Thank you for checking on me. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I was just like trying to say that, you know, if I can't do things their time, you know, like this guy lives with his parents as well, even though he's 34. But I was like, you've got other rooms in the house. You can go and video chat with me. You can make an effort. You know, you don't have to. First of all, you say about worrying about waking his parents, but he's got like a mansion. And he did manage to do it in the end, find a spare room that's away from his parents, incidentally. So it's not like he couldn't have done that. But it's like, I shouldn't have to tell him that. He should use his own initiative. If someone's really into you and really wants to speak to you, they should be doing whatever it takes, you know. Go in another room, go outside, look at the stars and speak to the person. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't take much just to open your door and go outside. Do you know what I mean? But it's like about putting effort in, isn't it? And time and that. which is what I need, time and effort, like I make with them, because I'm on a busy schedule. And if I can schedule them in my calendar and make time for them, then the least they can do is try and make time for me, and not give excuses. I just don't like excuses. Anyway, I've told him he's not suitable for me now, so I don't think he'll put up much of an effort fight, really. He'll probably just accept it, because I think probably he's seen how much effort it will take him, and he'd probably rather not do that. You know what I mean? He probably wants a easy life, and so you can go and have one elsewhere with some other woman, whatever he wants to do. Anyway, you deserve the best, Sandra. Don't let any negativity get to you. Thank you, Ronald. That's really sweet. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Anyway, I'm going to go because I need to go to the cinema 8:20, and I need to eat some food quickly. I need to put it in the oven, eat it up, gobble it up, then go. So I'll see you on tomorrow's live stream. Thank you, Ronald. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Ronald. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming on and checking on me. Take care, and I will see you soon after my self-date. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You're always in my heart. Oh, Ronald. Yes, it's a shame you're not over here, really. You know that. Anyway, take care, and embrace your quirky and each other's. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the big bell icon to get notified of every time I post a new video, and I will see you on the live stream tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Bye.